Hello, amazing parents. How are we doing today? Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm just going to I thought I'd finish up the reasons why we should not argue with our teenagers. How is it going for you? How's the challenge going for you? It's Wednesday today, so this is day 3 of our no arguing with our teenagers challenge. Hey, how are you? How is it going for everyone? How is that going? Have you had arguments, or have you been able to avoid having arguments with your teenagers, even if they start it or not? So just for us to share that, I want to share 5 more. I did promise that I was going to share, I had 5 on Monday, and I did promise that I was going to share 5 more reasons why we should avoid, manage, not argue with our teenagers. So how is everyone doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching from. It's always great to have a chat with you guys. Always, always awesome to have a chat with you guys. I'll wave back quickly. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining. And for everyone that's going to watch the replay, thank you as well. So the 6th reason, I did share 5. If you didn't watch it, it's actually on IGTV, saved on our IGTV channel. Okay, I shared 5 reasons. So the 6th reason I've got here is that when we continue to get involved, I've been able to avoid. Happy about that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I love that. I love that. Great. That is great. Doesn't it feels good, isn't it? Yeah, you say you're happy about that. It really feels good when you're able to succeed on that. It's really liberating, very liberating. So the 6th reason I've got here, thanks for sharing that as well. The 6th reason I've got here is that our teenagers end up getting used to it. When we argue with them, they actually get used to it. So you see them argue for no reason, even if it's just one little thing that you say, it will cause an argument because they know that they're used to arguing with you. So it's okay for them to argue with you. And it then gets to a point where they need to argue their points to actually win. It becomes something about, something about a winning strategy for them. So that's why we do need to avoid that. We do need to avoid that completely. The 7th reason I've got here is that continuous arguments with our teenagers, they end up being disrespectful. I'll be honest with you. Our teenagers end up being disrespectful because we're in that constant battle with them. So it's almost as if they're arguing with their mates. They become disrespectful. And so that's why it's very, very important that we draw the line and we say, no, I'm not going to be part of this. No matter how much they want to argue back, just declare yourself. Declare yourself that you're not there. You're not even part. You won't be part of this argument. Because if not, the continuous arguing with our teenagers, they end up being very, very disrespectful. And then sometimes we think, oh my God, he's so disrespectful. She's so disrespectful. But it's because we've actually engaged in that argument with them. We've gone to that level, is what I say. Don't go down to that level to argue with them. No. Don't go down to that level to argue with them. The 7th reason I've got here is it actually lessens your authority as a parent. Yeah, it does. It really lessens your authority as a parent when you argue with your teenagers. I mean, teenagers, they can argue with their friends. Oh, you did that. No, I'm not doing this. You did that. They can do that with their friends and their peers, but not with you. No. You've come too far. That's the word I'm going to use for you. You've come too far in your life. You've grown, you've matured, you've gone through a lot of things in your life. You've come too far to get down to that level in arguing with your teenagers. It is not worth it, and it's not even called for. So avoid it as much as possible. And remember, guys, as I always say on this platform, this is not criticizing anyone. This is all about us correcting our ways. We've all been there. That's what I love about this journey. We've all been there. No one's perfect. But what I don't want parents to do is to say, well, because I've always argued with them, then I'll just have to continue arguing with them. No. We can always change. Every day, I give myself a chance to change every day. I press that reset button. Okay, Phinnah, I did this yesterday. Today, totally new person. Let's move on. And that's what you've got to do. That's what you've got to do. Do not trail the route with exactly. Don't. Exactly. Don't. Definitely don't. Exactly. Okay. And then the 8th reason I've got here, very is related to the 7th reason, but it's about your influence on them. When we constantly argue with our teenagers, it lessens our influence in them on them. It lessens that, and I'm using authority and influence two separate ways. Influence is like, when you want to talk to them about something, when you want to influence them over a certain issue or a certain matter, or even your life as a positive influence to their lives. When we constantly argue with them, then they don't see, they're very blinded to those positive roles that you play that they're supposed to be influenced by. Does that make sense? So they're blinded because of the arguments, they're blinded to the positive role model that you are. So it's so important that we don't allow arguments to derail the most important role in our lives with them, which is being a positive influence in their lives. So arguments actually derails us from that path. And I always say it's not worth it. That little argument that you will have can cause more consequences, cause more damage than you actually realize. So yes, it does lessen our influence on their lives. So we've got to avoid that. So that's that reason. Number 9 reason I've got here is that it actually creates resentment, and resentment from both ways. Resentment from both ways. It could be resentment from your teenagers. It could even be resentment from you yourself, knowing that, oh my word, as soon as I say something, it always comes up to an argument, and then resentment subconsciously starts to build up. Subconsciously, resentment starts to build up. So really, really important that we remember these. And that's why I'm sharing these points. I'm sharing these pointers as points that when you know that there's an argument coming your way, you just think, nope. No. You just remember one or two. Even if you remember one or two of these points, it gets you back like, okay, no, that's it. I'm not part of this. It really, really gets you back. A lot of times we don't remember these reasons because we don't really realize the reasons and we don't know the reasons. So I thought definitely I'm going to share these reasons with you. And then the 10th reason, and I promise I'm going to kind of do a recap so that you can see, you can hear the 10 reasons I've got here. The 10th reason I've got here is that during arguments with our teenagers, it's very, very likely for unfiltered words to come out. And the thing about unfiltered words, I should actually have another topic on unfiltered words. Actually, I will have another topic about unfiltered words, definitely. Because what unfiltered words could do to your teenager, is something else. And even from them, what unfiltered words from them to you can actually cause is a lot. It's very, very damaging. So I would say definitely avoid arguments with your teenagers. We don't need to live with our teenagers to argue with our teenagers. As I mentioned in one of the points, we've come too far to go down to that level. And if it's something we've done in the past, then let's make it a new day. Let's make it a new day to start afresh. Let's make it a new day to do things differently. Sister Woman, you said yes, you can relate to it. Exactly. It's very, very relatable, because the more the arguments come, resentment definitely builds up. And even if we don't realize it, it could be much later on in life that a mention or something reminds us about those times, and the resentment can come out. So it's really, really important that we think about these reasons when it comes to talking about our teenagers. Yes, you heard unfiltered words as a teenager, and I try my best to hold my tongue. Yes, please keep trying. Keep trying, definitely, because it is so liberating when you're able to succeed in holding that self-control, guys. That self-control in holding your tongue, that self-control in not getting involved in that argument, that self-control will take you far. I tell you, that self-control will take you far. It's unfortunate that we didn't get to learn that as we started this parenting journey, because that's one of the key areas in parenting that will take you far. And yes, maybe as a parent to a younger child, you didn't need to bring that self-control out a lot, because younger children are more, they will do what you say, some of them. But when it comes to teenagers, remember, Teenagers, it's not that they're trying to be difficult. No way. It's that they are growing. They are trying to become who they're supposed to be. They're trying to figure out, who am I in this world? Where do I fit in this world? So a lot of things are going on in their minds. If you thinking that they're trying to make your life difficult, that's very far away from any teenager's minds. Teenagers don't even have the time to be thinking on that level. They are so self-conscious of themselves that it's not about what you think. So sometimes when we feel that they can't be bothered about what we think, we take it personal. But that's not the thing with teenagers. Teenagers are it's more about them. They want to figure out who they are. They want to grow. They want to test the waters. That's really what teenagers are all about. And so when they come across as if they don't really care about how you feel about something and then how they respond to you, they're not being mean about it. That's not it. It is part of that growth. But it is our responsibility to communicate that with them. Say, you know what? Yeah, I know you're a grown boy now. You're a grown girl now. I know that's where you're coming from. I know that's where you're coming from. And then you just get into conversations, teaching them exactly how to actually control that. Because a lot of times, because they're still growing and trying to test things out, sometimes they're not sure. They're not sure of how to react. Sometimes they react quite rudely and they don't realize it until you tell them. But it's the how you tell them that matters. It is the how you tell them that matters. They say that a lot, sis. They say that a lot, sis. My teenager says it's not that deep. Exactly. Oh, mom, it's not that deep. Oh, come on, mom, it's not that deep. They do say that a lot. So now I even tell them as well. I say, oh, well, it's not that deep. Don't worry about it. It's not that deep. I say that as well. Hey, Caroline, how are you? I say that as well. Yeah, I say that as well. Parenting with clarity. Thank you so much. How are you? How to tell them. Yes. How to tell them, Lara. That is the big, what's the word? That's the key really, is the how, because many of us know what to say. We know the good things, we know the values, we know the things that we want them to have in their lives, but it's the how that we say it. And I think that those kind of teachings on the how will have to come with examples. And I think it will have to be better to be done in a webinar kind of way, so that you guys give me examples of, this is what I want to say, or this is the kind of thing I want to talk to my teenagers about. How do I say it? And then we share those kind of things in a smaller group. I think it's more, it works better that way. And I will let you know as time goes on. I know in the month of October, we have a few that are coming up that I'm working on. So yeah, those are things that we can definitely learn on that. Okay. Awesome. So did you guys watch the other 5 reasons I gave? Because in this session, I've just shared 6 to 10. Do you want me to do a recap of everything? Not easy, sis. We're trying so hard to cope. Thanks for this. Yeah. And do you know what I would say, parenting with clarity? Don't think of it as trying to cope. Because sometimes when we say that, trying to cope, it's almost as if it's such, yes, and it could be a struggle, but see what we're learning, how we're actually learning, we should we embrace these things. And if we keep it as, do you know what, let's embrace these things that we're learning, it becomes actually better. They lash out at you rudely sometimes. Yes, they do. But again, it's about that self-control. Yes. So get good. Okay. So let's do a recap. So this week we're actually doing the No Arguing with Our Teenagers challenge. And I started with sharing reasons why we shouldn't argue, because for me, I always believe that the why is very important. If you know the why, then the how is easy to adopt. So we're going to learn the how as well. I've got a few videos that I've shared a few tips on how actually to avoid it. Okay, so these reasons that we're just giving you the why, and then we're going to share the how. I think I shared one of the hows last night, but I'll put them together for you guys. Okay, number 1 reason not to argue with your teenagers: it is so stressful. And the amount of illnesses that we see in hospitals today, the different cancers, the different long-term illnesses that we see, a lot of times doctors have confirmed that stress is very common amongst all of them. So number one, it's stressful. Number two, it creates a gap in our communication with our teenagers and our connections with our teenagers. The wider the gap becomes, the worse the relationship becomes. So constant arguing with our teenagers creates that gap. And we don't want that, because closing that gap, bridging that gap, takes a lot of work. And that's where a lot of coaching and mentoring comes in. It takes a lot of work to get that together. Okay? All right. The third reason I've got here is that constant arguing as well causes them not to listen to you when the time really counts. There are certain moments where you've got something very important to tell them, where you've got something very important to talk to you about. They won't listen to you at that point because they've been so used to the arguments. Okay, they've been so used to the arguments. It also, the fourth reason is that it causes them not to share things with you. It causes them not to share things with you when some important things come in their lives, when they have some certain situations. They don't feel free to share it with you because they're used to the constant arguments. The arguments are they've just been so constant that when it's time for them to share something with you, they just say, you know what, I can't even be bothered. I'll go share it with somebody else. And unfortunately, they go share it with someone else who doesn't have your values, who doesn't share your values. And when they share things with people that don't have share your values, those guys give them advice based on their value system. And guess what? It really contradicts what you believe in. It contradicts your own values. So really, really important that we think about that as well. And the fifth reason I had there was that it's not worth it. I can tell you that for free. It is not worth it. Why have I never thought about this? It's okay. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. Honestly, that's why we're here. You know, so the sixth reason I've got here is that, as I said at the beginning of this video, they actually get used to it. If you keep arguing with your teenagers, they get used to it. And then it becomes almost like a game for them where they're saying they must win this argument, whether you like it or not. That's another reason why we shouldn't argue with them. The seventh reason I had here is that it lessens, they become disrespectful. It creates them becoming disrespectful. And you guys, you see that when there's that argument, then there's disrespect starts to come into it. And because they're disrespectful, we get angry. And then from anger, different things are being said, different things are being, so that is why we shouldn't, definitely. The eighth reason I had here is, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. No, the seventh reason. Is that the seventh reason? Oh, okay. It lessens your authority as a parent. It lessens that authority you have as a parent. And as I said, and I don't want to repeat myself, but you've come too far to go down to that level of arguing. They can argue with their friends and their peers, but you've come too far. You've gone through a lot to go down there and argue with them. Now, it also lessens your influence. And as I said, your influence is really, really, really important because there are things that you do in your life. There are ways that you carry on with your life. The positive, that positive role model that you are. With arguments, what that does is that it lessens your influence. And you don't want that influence lessened at all, because you need them to emulate that positive part of you. Okay? And then the ninth reason I had is that it creates resentment. And then the 10th reason I had is that during arguments, there's most likely to have unfiltered words. And to be honest, sometimes these unfiltered words can stay in our children's minds, even our minds, if you had unfiltered words from your teenagers for many years. Many teenagers or many adults that we see today, they can share a lot of unfiltered words that their parents had used on them that affected their self-esteem, affected the way they carried on in life, affected their confidence and the way they related with people. Unfiltered words can do a lot of damage, and we're going to be sharing a bit on that later on, in October. But it's just important that we know these reasons why, and then that gives us more of a strength, and also as a reminder, because as I shared in the video, I don't know if I've posted the video yet, but these arguments, they're not planned. They're not planned at all. They come all of a sudden. So you've got to be aware of them. And knowing these reasons why will get you aware of them. Okay? All right, let's hear your question. CC Val 5. What's your first name? Because sometimes when I see your username, I don't know what to. I like to call people on their first names. So let me know your first name. But I'm going to let me look at it. If you've gotten into a habit of engaging in these mistakes, is it possible to still break? Oh yes. Oh yes. Very, very possible. Oh yes. No, I got, yeah, relationship. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Christine. Oh, awesome, beautiful name. Yeah. Oh, yes, it's very possible to break the habit. And okay, so the hows are the on the next set of videos that I'm sharing. Let me give you one tip, and then we'll do some more tomorrow. But yes, Christine, you can break those habits. And you see the beautiful thing about our teenagers. Our teenagers are growing, so they are subconsciously expecting us to grow as well. So when we're used to doing certain things and we break out of those habits, now being a newer version of ourselves, they look at it as growth. They may not use the word growth, but they look at it of, okay, she's becoming cool. She's becoming, yeah, she's there. She's getting there. They can see that effort you're trying to make. And because they are our children connected with, connected to us, they easily forgive. They easily forgive. But it's got to be a consistent change. That habit, we've got to work on it so that it's something we're doing consistently. If it's not consistent, then they will look at it as fake. They will look at it as not authentic. And they're very quick to spot what is not authentic. Very quick. Yes, teenagers are very quick to spot what is not authentic. So it's about that consistent reasoning with them. Okay. So these 10 points that I've shared, have them in your, maybe what I'll need to do is share the other 5, because the first 5 I put it in a text. You can copy that and stick somewhere in your room or something. I'm going to do the other 5 as well in a text so that you can follow. You can follow that as well. One of the ways that you can break the habit is include that in your affirmations. I'm going to be at peace with my children today. I mean, sometimes affirmations, people think it's no big deal, but it's very powerful because you set your mind in the mornings when you wake up and you have your meditation, your prayers, your quiet time. Include that amongst your daily affirmations and say, you know what? I am at peace with my children today. I am at peace with my teenagers today. I understand my teenagers. My teenagers understand me. So affirm those words, because when you affirm those words, what they actually help you do is they remind you at those moments when those arguments want to come. Those kind of affirmations that you have affirmed reminds you to say, no, I declared peace. I have called in peace, and I'm having peace today, whether anybody likes it or not. And even if I have to walk away, I would walk away. Okay, so definitely, I hope that helps, Christine. But I will be sharing the house. I will be sharing the house. Okay, I try to follow your advice, but my house is not supporting. For instance, not arguing or saying unfiltered words. Then I'm upset. Okay, do you know what? That is very, very, very possible and very common. But what I always advise parents in this situation is you keep doing what you're doing. That's the key. You keep doing what you are doing. And the more you do it, the more the influence will be there. So you keep doing it. Don't be upset that somebody else is not doing what you're doing. No, refrain from that. You just keep doing what you are meant to be doing. And that will help you all the way. Okay? You suddenly went, but you're back. Awesome. Glad I'm going to save the video anyway, so you guys will have you guys will have access to it. Christine, you're welcome. I hope that helped. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So that's what I thought I would share with you guys today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay. And check out the post on our platform. Check out the post on our platform for the how. I've just started sharing the how. Last night I shared a video on one of the things we can do. I think I talked about affirmations on that. I have done a few videos which I will post every day so that we can see that. Lara, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I remember the promise. We're going to do something on that. Okay? All right. You guys take care. Have a great afternoon or great evening, depending on where you're watching from. And do share the video as well. Share the video with your friends who you know that this topic will definitely help. Okay? All right. Take care, guys. And I will talk to you soon. God bless. Okay. Bye-bye, guys. Awesome. Lizzie. Awesome. Yes, always helps you to think about how you deal. Awesome. That's what it's really all about. Yes, that's what it's all about. I've got teenagers as well, so yeah, that's really really what it's all about. And I'm glad that it does, that the videos do help. And I do love sharing videos. I write content, but I actually prefer talking. All right, thank you so much for stopping by to watch this. I really appreciate it. And for everyone that's going to watch the replay, I appreciate you guys as well. Okay? All right, take care, guys. Bye.